Really?
I'm gonna cry.
Can't actually believe it's been such a small change and it's made such a big difference. I really can't.
Lower your cholesterol with the natural power of added plant sterols.
Hi and welcome to Talk Solent with me, Jonathan Hines. Great to have your company. Joining me on the sofa today to discuss the biggest local issues on this Tuesday evening. Making the news are entrepreneur, NLP and dating expert Sophie Personne from Portsmouth and renowned clairvoyant medium Neshla Avey from near Fareham. Now, Winchester University's Vice-Chancellor Professor Joy Carter is part of a new government advisory group on increasing accessibility of disadvantaged groups to higher education and equality of opportunity in higher education, and also has expressed her delight recently at helping to reduce discrimination and break down barriers. The University of Winchester is there for everybody with ability, not just open to those with the right background, you might say. Isn't this great news, Sophie and Neshla? Maybe one day we'll have complete equality of opportunity based on ability and not background.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Very positive news, isn't it, Sophie?
Yeah, I think so. It shouldn't be down to like what your parents earn or anything like that. It should just be about what you want to do, and you shouldn't be deprived from going to university if you so wish, just because of financials, maybe.
Do you think one day we'll see the end of these barriers and it will be complete equality of opportunity for those if they've got the ability?
I'm not sure, to be fair. It'll be a long time yet.
Neshla, what's your reaction to this one?
Yes, I agree. I mean, it should be about that because it's not, as you say, if you've got a disadvantaged background, it's not your fault. And if you've got the ability, then yes, you should be taught.
And also, it's not just disadvantaged backgrounds. A lot of people might think, they might place a disadvantage on themselves. They might think, well, oh no, I'm not from that sort of background. I can't go to university. It's not for people like me. I wouldn't be any good for that. So they may have already put a limitation on themselves when they actually have got the ability.
I think exactly that, what you just said. It's a self-limiting belief, and it's probably something that society or other people have ingrained and put onto them. Some people don't want to go into higher education, that's absolutely fine.
If they don't want to.
But the danger there is, how do you tell someone that actually you're totally capable? Who are they going to talk to that is going to be able to help them to see past that?
And there's a social mobility advisory group, so that's good. And it says the university actively works with young people across Hampshire, particularly those in neighbourhoods with low levels of participation in higher education, people in care, young carers, people with disabilities and military families, interesting, to encourage them to learn about the benefits of higher education. So military families, that's one I hadn't thought of.
Because it must be quite hard being in the military. Their parents probably get moved around, so therefore, the education gets broken. So they've probably, not had the same background. But if they've got the ability and they get the opportunity, then it probably can help them.
This is very good news. I mean, I know, probably up until about the 70s, you only went, if your family didn't have much money, you would only go to university if you got what they call a scholarship.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's like that when I was younger. There wasn't many people going to university, and then they got this big influx, didn't we, when the grants came out, or when they student loans, and then everyone went to the university. But it's getting that balance right, isn't it?
This is it. And there are so many people who have come from what you might call the worst backgrounds, disadvantaged backgrounds, and have become, really prominent people. But it wouldn't do if everybody was going to university, would it? I mean, I always say, well, a cleaner, for example, some people are happy doing that. And without cleaners, where would our society be? Cleaners do have such an important job. The whole of our infrastructure would go to pot if we didn't have cleaners and people that do what we might call menial jobs.
Well, yes, of course, and you've got, you know, they did say when everyone went to university, there was a shortage, wasn't there? So plumbers, electricians, any hands-on stuff, because not everyone's academic. I mean, they've still got to learn their trade, but you need a mixture of everyone to make it all work properly, don't you?
It's all about making sure that people do what they want to do and what they feel happy doing.
And what makes them happy.
Whatever it is, rather than what they feel they have to do or what they feel they should be doing. And it's a bit like gender equality, isn't it? You know, even now, some young girls might think, oh, I can't go into that, or I don't want to do that because there aren't many girls doing it, or...
I think that's less and less, though, to be totally honest with you.
Thank goodness.
I think it's more society that kind of like, you know, gives you that kind of feeling that you should be doing something as opposed to doing what you want to do inside.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, moving on, some more good news. It's amazing what you can find in Poundland, or the 99p store, not £99. I'm often amazed at the top brands and what we might call higher-end products in these shops and wonder how we managed before they were here. Now, locals to Fareham will be able to have a good rummage through a new one in Fareham's West Street, the second now in Fareham. So what do we think about this one? Neshla, you're local to Fareham. Will you be popping in for a quick browse?
Well, I don't go in that often for shopping, but yeah, it's funny because that store's been empty for a while and I've been walking past wondering what they're going to do with it, but there was a Poundland around the corner. But, you know, I think it's great for kids. I mean, my kids used to love it when they were little because you can give them a couple of pounds and they can find, you know, a lot there, you know.
Because your kids are in their 20s now,
And they are now.
We didn't have pound shops, did we?
Well, they
15
No,
years ago?
no, they'd had them. I remember we were in Taunton on holiday. It must when they were quite small, and there was a Poundland there, and it's the first time I'd ever seen it. And they thought it was great because everything was a pound, and you can just find what you want. And you know, my sister loves them. She's always buying her chocolate in there because it's much cheaper. But yeah, I must admit, it's not. You know, but it is good. It is good if you want to rummage around and you know what you're going to spend.
I'm not sure if that was a good choice of words. It's my choice.
Well, it is a big store, though, isn't it? They look, you know, it's got a lot, quite a big shop front.
And in Europe, they've got the €1 stores, I believe. I haven't seen.
I haven't either, to be totally honest with you. I've seen the $1 shop in Canada.
Oh, right.
So it's exactly the same concept,
like
but
it's
it's $1. Yeah.
Because I've only been aware of these shops in the last year, and I need to do my research on this. I don't know how they do it, because I've seen really high-end, really great products that would normally be 4 or 5 times the price, and you think, well, how are they doing it?
It's buying power. They basically get it at cost price, I expect, and don't make that much money on it. However, they have the more tacky things that, you know, they buy for literally pennies.
Yeah.
And that they save for £1, and that's where they make the money. Some people don't differentiate, you know, between a brand or not. So
a very clear explanation. I didn't know that, because I mean, the other day, for example, I got this huge Toblerone like that, which me and my friend demolished within an hour. Well, I had 90% of it, and it's a great big Toblerone, which would be you know, it's the best chocolate, isn't it? Swiss, and that would be about £5, wouldn't it?
But it depends as well, because if you really went to another shop and bought one, you find the size is probably that a little bit smaller. There's also certain products in terms of toiletries mainly that are actually foreign, so I expect to buy them. Yeah, but I don't buy it from there. Sorry.
I don't know if they sell
it's a French
for
thing.
£1.
They do.
Do they?
But, yeah, it smells like it's £1.
So this new store is part of the company's 99p conversion following the buyout of their rivals in 2015. Poundland opened 60 new stores for the financial year ending March 2015, creating approximately 1,600 jobs. Because I don't understand why we got a £1 one and a 99p one.
It's much easier £1, isn't it, with those penny change? Mind you, not many people in it.
There's some people we go to the 99p shop because it's cheaper.
Not for a penny, surely.
Honestly. Honestly.
Well, I was just going to say, in Winton, in Bournemouth, where I'm from, the pound shop, the 99p shop closed down, and then it was replaced by a more expensive shop, a pound shop. So it just literally replaced it in the same spot.
But they've all been bought out anyway, haven't they? So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as I said, some of the things I found in there, you know, you do wonder how they do it. But now you've explained that. I remember, I don't know if they were a national chain, but years ago, certainly in Bournemouth, there was a company called Pound Stretcher.
Yeah, we still exist.
Yes,
Are they
yeah,
still
I've heard
around?
of that.
But not a pound, but we're still around.
Yeah,
Stretcher.
they were just cheaper, weren't they? So that you could stretch a pound a bit further.
So pound shops and 99p shops, and there's also a dollar shop, of course, in Canada. And I believe I've heard there was an 89p one as well.
Oh, is there really?
We're soon at 50p shop.
Let's
I
go.
saw that. If I hadn't got on the wrong train this morning, I might have had a few minutes to do a bit more research
Investigate.
into that. That's to be
So you
honest.
got on the wrong train.
I know.
Yeah,
I was going to say I went to Cyprus and there was a shop called Mr. Pound.
Right. Yes.
So everything was a pound there. Well, it wasn't. It was actually a euro, but they were still called Mr. Pound.
Right. And somebody mentioned there was also a 25p one, which I didn't know about either. So that's in Fareham. I mean, I haven't been down Fareham High Street. What's it like? Do you like Fareham High Street as it is at the moment, Neshla?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't tend to go there because I'm nearer to Whiteley, so that's easier for me to get to. But occasionally I will go to Fareham, and they've got all the shops you need there.
Yeah.
And as I say, that was empty for quite a while, so it was interesting to see what it's turning into. So I didn't know until you showed me that today.
No, that's from last Friday. And the second one in Fareham is at the Market Quay.
Yes,
Centre.
yeah, they've
Is
had
that
those.
familiar to you?
Yes, I know that one is quite a small one, so
Right.
I'm guessing. I'm surprised if they're keeping them both open because they're literally across the street from each other. So they're 5 minutes walk.
So you wouldn't advise anyone to go on a date, Sophie, wearing a 99p shop perfume?
No, you've just got to potentially, just invest that tiny little bit more
About a tenner more,
in yourself. Yes. I mean, it's to their own. We all smell different things in different ways, and you obviously react with the skin and everything else.
Yep.
But yeah, no.
Yeah. Well, coming up very shortly here on Talk Solent after the break, cutbacks to housing benefit for higher earners. Is this the beginning of the end of social housing? And are you for more independence for Hampshire from central government? We're talking Hampshire devolution as well after the break. See you very shortly.
With my poor credit, I felt toxic.
Finance companies were asking very high interest rates.
Couldn't afford it.
My only option was an out-of-warranty used car for cash, or so I thought.
I called Wheels for Sure. A week later, I had a lease for a brand new car.
All manufacturer-backed and upgrade to a new one every 3 years.
I felt valued. Too good to be true? No, simply true.
Used car on a costly loan or an affordable new leased one, you know the choice.
For sure!
Click or call Wheels for Sure on 0800 044 5806 now. We can help.
So, what's the best thing about knowing that Sure compressed deodorant does actually last as long as a big can?
I can use my flatmate's can of it for weeks before she'll suspect anything. Yeah, that was me. Sorry.
Try compressed and join the 9 million women who've chosen it. Sure, it won't let you down.
I was really worried about Ivor, so I took us off to get tested, and actually, I'm just as bad. Lowering cholesterol is about exercise, a healthy diet, and eating Flora Proactive every day.
Really? Can't actually believe it's been such a small chain and it's made such a big difference. I really can't.
Lower your cholesterol with the natural power of added plant sterols.
Wow, look, it's a live cheetah. She's fast and dangerous. But do you know what's faster? When you download with BT Infinity. It's so fast. Is this safe?
It's perfectly safe. Oh gosh, do something.
Distract it. It's gonna eat me.
I've got meat! I've got meat!
Do I just stand still?
BT Infinity fibre optic broadband offers faster download speeds than Sky.
London's only 2.5 hours away, so treat yourself to a weekend in one of the world's 2 great theatre districts. At West End Plus, we've got great value tickets on all the big West End shows and city breaks where you can book your tickets, travel, hotel and restaurants all in one place at fantastic prices. There are even discounts on some of London's best-loved attractions. Book your break in London with westendplus.com.
Yes, he's the data-eating monster. Yeah, that's Gary. We do animation on him.
You're in one of the 5 million BT Wi-Fi hotspots.
See, with BT Mobile, when you're in one, you can go online for free without eating into your data allowance.
So I'm safe when I'm in it.
From the data-eating monster.
Let's see how you're going to do this. I think Gary needs a little work.
With BT Mobile, get free unlimited internet access on the UK's largest Wi-Fi network.
Welcome back to Talk Solent, the programme where we discuss the biggest news stories of our local patch. I'm Jonathan Hines, and joining me on the sofa this evening are clairvoyant medium Neshla Avey and dating and relationships expert and entrepreneur Sophie Personne. Now, the chairman of the Solent Local Enterprise Panel, or LEP, Gary Jeffrey, says devolved powers for local authorities such as here in Hampshire and the Isle of Wight would be good for business, allowing business rates to be spent as deemed to be in the interests of projects and local people here in this region, rather than receiving grants from central government. In Westminster, he is amongst those that welcome central government initiatives to give regions more independence over how they spend money from business rates, and wants businesses to have more of a say directly in how this money is spent. There is increased support for regional devolution amongst local MPs in Hampshire, but some have also said that the public have not had enough say on this as yet. So ladies, more independence for Hampshire from central government, is this good for business? What do you think about this? Are you a Hampshire separatist? Is this something that, because I know that, you know, a lot of MPs do support this and there's a big drive for regional devolution, but is it something the public know much about, or do you think the public would vote on this given the chance?
I'm not
something
sure.
That interests the public, do you think?
I think they should also maybe actually ask people what they want. I know that when I started, in terms of funding or anything like that, if you're over 30 and under 50, you can't get very much, hardly nothing really. Where when you start up, because that's the idea as well, to support startups and, you know, in the infancy of a business, shall we say, under 30 you've got a Princess Trust, you've got all sorts of things where people can get real hope as well as financial support, I believe. If you're over 50, there are a few schemes available as well, but if you are in that bracket in between, there's nothing. So, yeah, it would be good if Hampshire could do something.
Surely the people of Hampshire know better how money should be spent locally than people in Westminster?
Yeah, well, yes, obviously, because we know, you know, what's going on in your county, you know, what businesses are there, what's going on. Yeah, definitely.
Demographics, you know, what people want. It's going to be different here than it is up north, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe the Scottish have started a trend here. You know, with the you know, regional
Hampshire independence.
Yeah. I was going to say I was thrown then. But yeah, it's true though, isn't it? But there again, how much say do we have really? You know, it is more important, I think, for locals to have a little bit more say, and you know, go with the general consensus really.
Because people are always talking about how people in Westminster are out of touch, aren't they? Well, for example, Gary said he wanted to use the money on transformative projects such as the Royal Pier development in Southampton, which improved an area's infrastructure, brought housing and created jobs. And he also said 45 million which the LEP had spent in the region during 2015, including 20 million on skills provision, which you touched on, Sophie, including major improvements to Eastleigh College and the foundation of the Isle of Wight Centre of Excellence for Composites, Advanced Manufacturing and Marine Technology. That's a mouthful.
I was thinking that.
He said this investment has also saved or created 1,200 jobs in the region.
That's quite a lot, isn't it?
Jobs. Yeah. But in terms of increasing business rates, Westminster has so far said that we would need to have elected mayors in order to make that decision, whether we increase business rates. I mean, I don't know what sort of rates businesses pay. You know, do you know much about business rates?
It depends if you've got a shop front, If you're just working from home, as it were, it doesn't... Well, it can affect you, depending if you've got a room dedicated to business. But on the whole, it's more people with a shop front, isn't it?
Yeah, and it depends, again, location, isn't it? So obviously if you're in the high street, it's going to cost you a lot more than if you're tucked around the corner, so to speak.
That's right. Yeah, it's actually called Devo South, which is Devolution South. And that seems to be the way it's going. Right, so that was Gary Jeffries, who's the chairman of the Solent Local Enterprise Panel. That's Solent LEP. Local Enterprise Partnership, pardon. Yes, that's LEP, Local Enterprise Partnership. Now, starting from spring next year, up to 5% of social housing tenants in the southeast will be affected by cutbacks on housing benefit for social housing households with a combined income of £30,000. That's a combined income, meaning that help with housing costs in social housing will be abolished altogether for the highest earning households. It's estimated that in the southeast, some 7% will then be unable to afford alternative housing in the private sector and will have to look outside of their area for alternative housing. Many fear this spells the end of social housing as we know it, but supporters say that it will put a stop to taxpayers footing the bill for higher earners in social housing. So what do we think about this one, ladies? Is this bad news or good news? You know, well, obviously it's very worrying for a lot of people. What do you think?
I think it's a bit controversial, isn't it, really, because it's easy to see both sides of the coins. If someone, you know, even with a combined income earned less than 30, why, you know, should they struggle when, but obviously 30 is not that much either, so it's not an easy one, really.
No, it's hard, but you also get, I guess, a lot of people without social housing. Some people have got those low incomes anyway, and they are struggling, but it's a case of, it's like anything, it's getting that balance, isn't it? Getting the balance right, and it is difficult.
And I guess it's a bit of a case by case.
Yeah, you know, because it depends on the other means, doesn't it? And what you know, there's a lot more to it, isn't there? Than just your income, it's your outgoings as well, and what sort of situation you're in, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's talking about combined income here, so £30,000 in the counties, but 40,000 in London. But that 30,000 could be made up of 3 people who are all earning 10,000 each, which is a very bad wage, isn't it? Or 2 people on 15,000 each, which is a not a very average wage.
But
so
there are people,
like
there are people on 15,000 or just under that who still have to have private housing and, you know, struggle. So it's one of them where you kind of can't win, I guess.
This is whilst it says under the plans, households in social housing with a total income of 40,000 in London and over 30,000 elsewhere will pay a rent at market or near market levels. So when it says near market levels, maybe that means there'll be a little
housing
bit of
association or
a bit of a room for adjustment there, by the sounds of it.
Because this bedroom tax has been very controversial, hasn't it, recently as well? But it says apparently 68,000 people living in temporary accommodation and 1 million more on housing waiting lists. Councils must also retain any additional income generated from rents to reinvest in new and existing homes. This would clearly have far greater benefits for local communities than if the money is kept by the Treasury. Some people say we don't really have council housing now, it's housing associations more now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean it has changed, but the thing is that they say there's not so many available as there used to be. There used to be a lot of, as they say, council homes in the old days, and they sold them all off, didn't they? And now there's, as I say, there's not so many available. But it's like anything, it's really hard to draw the line, isn't it? You know, there are people that are genuinely needy, and then you do hear stories of people that, you know, are not, and that's I think that's why a lot of the taxpayers say it's unfair, so therefore something needs to be done about it.
And also when people hear about any sort of cutbacks, they start getting worried, even before they've seen the whole context.
Yeah.
You know, alarm bells start ringing.
It's just a word, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And it's not as if this is all going to happen overnight. These are big, long-term plans, aren't they? And well, there are cutbacks right across, aren't there? With in the welfare state, and of course any civilized country should have a robust welfare state. But the trouble is, sometimes with these cutbacks, people who genuinely need help are either suffering or they're fearing that they're going to lose something.
Which is
And it's not those people that we want to hit, is it?
Well, no, of course not. I mean, you want to help the genuine people that need help, don't you? And the stories you tend to hear about the people that don't need help, and then there's a bit of,
Friction.
people get upset about it.
And just before we go to the break, we're going to be talking more about your what you do, NLP, and also you know a lot about dating relationships, which is a minefield, Sophie. But how did you end up over here? Because obviously you're from France originally. 16 years you've been?
Yeah, 16 years. My dad believed in languages, and I started with German, but I wasn't so keen on the country, so I came over here, and I really liked it. So I was working in the summer when I was at university, and eventually I came over.
Was that Portsmouth University?
Yeah, I did international relations and politics in Portsmouth.
Right.
Yeah. And obviously you stayed.
And you've completely, your French accent is 95%.
It comes back. Strong emotions, anger, drink.
I'm sure we'll have some of those after the break. And do you pop that very often? I know you feel more British now than French, don't you?
Well, I would like to get the dual nationality.
Yeah.
I do go back every now and again. I mean, normally it's about twice a year. This year seems to be every other week, because there's all sorts of events and celebrations and things to attend. So.
And your very own event, which is coming up, which we'll talk about more.
Yeah, we're in France. It's here.
In a nutshell, but we'll talk more about it after the break. But what's this event you've got coming up?
It's for Valentine's Day, and it's for single people, and it's a chocolate and champagne afternoon.
I'm boycotting Valentine's Day this year. I'm completely boycotting it.
Chocolate and champagne, and it's at the Chocolate Lounge in Copner Road in Portsmouth, so yeah.
Oh, right.
Nice.
I think we've already had some reaction, actually, on that one. It's coming quite quickly. Now, and if you have news that we should be talking about, then do contact us on our email at talk@solent.com. Back with you again very shortly for more fascinating subjects for discussion.
How Sif broke the curse of the streak. The princess cleaned and cleaned, but horrid streaks cursed her bathroom until she summoned Sif, Power and Shine. Sif banished all the limescale and streaks. For 100% streak-free shine, there's always a beautiful ending with Sif, Power and Shine.
With my poor credit, I felt toxic. Finance companies were asking very high interest rates.
Couldn't afford it. My only option was an out-of-warranty used car for cash, or so I thought.
I called Wheels for Sure. A week later, I had a lease for a brand new car.
All manufacturer-backed and upgrade to a new one every 3 years.
I felt valued. Too good to be true? No, simply true.
Used car on a costly loan or an affordable new leased one, you know the choice.
For sure!
Click or call Wheels for Sure on 0800 044 5806 now. We can help.
London's only 2.5 hours away, so treat yourself to a weekend in one of the world's 2 great theatre districts. At West End Plus, we've got great value tickets on all the big West End shows and city breaks where you can book your tickets, travel, hotel and restaurants all in one place at fantastic prices. There are even discounts on some of London's best-loved attractions. Book your break in London with westendplus.com.
I believe that the very best stock is made from quality ingredients. That's why I use Knorr stock pots, slowly simmered to perfection. They help give a rich and meaty taste that makes my best spaghetti bolognese. Simply stir in and really taste the difference. Some say you can't buy taste, but I disagree. Knorr stock pots. Try it for yourself.
Julia, Winston Wolf.
Yeah?
You were on your way to Marcia's hen party when you took a hit from a couple of wise guys.
Nightmare.
About your car. Does it smoke? Make a noise?
Yeah.
Call Direct Line. They'll arrange a hire car.
Won't have to wait for mine to go in for repair.
Not with Direct Line.
Oh,
hey, what about us? Are you with Direct Line? No. Then on your bike, Buster.
Welcome back to Talk Solent with myself, Jonathan Hines. Joining me on the sofa this evening are Neshla Avey from near Fareham and Sophie Personne from Portsmouth. Now, did you know, Sophie, that an app was launched a couple of years ago that's a kind of TripAdvisor, other similar sites, are available for potential dates. It allowed users to post ratings and reviews of exes who are likely or maybe unlikely to become somebody's future date, partner or spouse. I certainly didn't know about this one, but now it doesn't really matter anyway because the app has already been dumped, excuse the pun, and replaced with a more conventional style app for dating and browsing single. So ladies, would you find it helpful to see reviews of people you like by their exes? And how would you feel about your ex or exes posting reviews and ratings about you? Neshla, Sophie?
I disagree with the whole thing because, you know, we're all different and we don't all like the same people. We all are going to react differently to different things, and I just don't see the point, you know.
I know.
No, I agree, because at the end of the day, if you're angry about somebody, you're going to post something bad, it's going to put people off, and you've got to meet people, make up your own mind, haven't you, really? We've all got different qualities that, as you say, different people go for.
The thing is, something that you might see as a flaw, I might think is great. So,
well, how many times has someone talked about a member of their family or an ex, and they've made them out to be this evil, wicked, waste of space person, and you've actually met that person yourself, and actually, well,
they're all right.
They're not that bad.
Yeah.
They're all right. You know, it's so subjective, isn't it?
Totally, yeah.
And also, is it not an opportunity for people just to bitch and have a field day about somebody?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't see the point of it, if I'm totally honest with you. It's allowing people, as you say, to just vent for the sake of venting. It's negative, it doesn't achieve anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they all would also put good things, but you don't put good things necessarily.
But
people
you
like
can see,
to...
you can see who's vented their anger or frustration about this person, then you're less likely to go with them. But
I mean, you could even argue it's verging on cyberbullying, because, you know, why would you destroy someone's character in that way? You know, that person may not have meant whatever, and I don't know, it's wrong.
Of course, there'll be people posting nice things, won't they? Like, lovely guy, just not for me.
Well,
whatever.
Well, let's be realistic. You know, if you go on certain sites and everything else, people are quick to moan, they are quick to complain. They will send a letter to a restaurant to say the food wasn't very good and, you know, the service was poor, but they're unlikely to do the same thing to say it was great.
Yeah, people tend to be more negative than positive, don't they? And as you say, if they've got a site like that, they can put some information on. They're going to, aren't they? They're not going to think, oh, nice bloke, you know.
And it's not just that, it depends
find him someone nice.
You have all the detail they go into. That could be a little bit, you know, personal.
Well, of course, people come to you, they might have met somebody, Neshla. Obviously, you're a clairvoyant medium, a renowned one as well. People might come to you and they might say, oh, I've fallen for somebody, or there's somebody I like, or I think, and they might ask you what you think about that potential relationship, compatibility, etc. But at least you're giving them an opinion completely objectively and in private. It's not on a website,
exactly. And as I say, the thing is, I just feel the energy of that person, whether it's positive or negative for them. But yeah, I just don't think that's right, because I think at the end of the day, we have to make our own decisions on that person, don't we? We have to meet that person and see if we feel comfortable with them. And just because they've let somebody down, for example, doesn't mean to say they're going to let you down.
And it's also perception. You know, if someone says, oh, they've let me down, that's their perception. Maybe, you know, the sense of expectation was warped, maybe the assumption about whatever was, no.
Yeah, because it does take two, and that particular person could wind them up, you know.
So what are the biggest problems in relationships, do you think, the three top problems that
well, I think the main one that leads to everything is communication. Once the communication is gone, you've had it. And it's not just communication, you know, about important stuff.
And it's lack of communication that can make love turn to hate, can't it?
Not even just to hate, but routine and, you know, being totally despondent, and then it just literally fizzles out.
Yeah. So what can we do? I mean, obviously you've got this event coming up. What would you advise people to do? What do you advise people to do about that?
Well, obviously these ones have fizzled out because we're single, hopefully. What do you mean? If you're a single person, how to resolve that, or if you're in a relationship that's not quite working?
Both.
Both. Relationship not quite working, it is quite easy. It's not going to be present, but you need to take the other person sit them down once we've eaten, so everybody's in, you know, a good mood, and just, that is true, if you want a favour, you know, always ask someone after they've eaten, because we're not going to be grumpy. But no, it's just sitting them down, and however unpleasant the conversation is, you just got to say what your problems are and try and resolve them through talking.
In a controlled, diplomatic, but assertive way. Now, some of the Twitter hashtags that were examples of what was posted on this app, which of course is now gone, it's dead. This app it's been replaced by something more conventional. We had things like "Life of the Party," "Tall, dark, and Handsome," and "Plays Didgeridoo."
Well, someone might like the didgeridoo, but also, you know, if they're things tall, dark, and handsome, you know, they could even post stuff about themselves, couldn't they? Yeah. Make themselves sound good. Who knows who does the posting?
I mean, online dating. I mean, a lot of people say it's a waste of time, but I know, for example, my godson's parents, who are from completely different parts of the country, they met. They were both lonely and had bad luck. They met on online, and then they physically met up. They're happily married, and I think, you know, it's a sort of marriage that they'll be together forever. And I always, stories like that, I always, you know, recount to people who say, oh, online dating's a load of
It definitely has got its place. I think, however, it can very easily turn into a meat market or a meat catalogue where, you know, you just look at pictures instead of looking at the person. And a picture, actually, depending on the angle, is not going to show you who that person is. You might get on absolutely fine with them if you met them in the street. I think a lot of people use online dating as a convenience because it's quite easy to be sat in your settee with a bottle of wine in your pyjamas, scrolling through pictures, and then like trying to talk to someone because, you know, there's no fear. You're not pushing yourself out of the comfort zone here. We're actually physically going out to meet people in a normal environment. It's slightly different, and you've got more chances of meeting someone that way. Let's not forget, each and every one of us knows an average of 300 people. So even if you just make one friend and you've got things in common, then straight away you've got access to a database of 300 people.
And it's a minefield, and we're going to come back to that. We're going to talk more about your, because you're an entrepreneur and you're an NLP practitioner. We'll talk more about that and your event coming up very shortly, Sophie. That's great. Now, many businesses and organisations are now using sentiment analysis technology to better understand our online typed communication and to better understand the meanings behind people's messages and typed words. How often have you found you've misunderstood the feeling or mood behind a message? Let's face it, if you don't use emoticons or smiley faces or sad faces or whatever in your texts or emails, this can easily happen. At the 2012 Olympics in London, this technology was trialled on Twitter to gauge people's reactions to events and sportsmen and women's performances. So how often, ladies, have you misread or misconstrued a text or instant message? It happens.
Yeah, it's easy to get them wrong because there's no emotion behind them. It's just typed words, and some things are ambiguous. You could read it wrong and take offence or not, you know, get the response you expect from somebody. But really, if they're not good at, as you say, communication, and they're not good at wording things, then we could easily get that wrong.
And I think we forget about our moods as well. I know that just yesterday you could argue I was in a little bit of that situation where I replied and actually it came out the wrong way because I was tired and I was a bit grumpy. It happens, but the person didn't know what mood I was in. So they didn't necessarily take it the right way. I mean, it was sorted straight away because it wasn't important.
When you received it.
That as well. That as well.
Because somebody could be in a really happy mood, or somebody could be really happy when they send something. They could be even smiling. You could look at the text and you think, well, that's a bit sharp, or a bit short.
Yeah, but they could be in a hurry. They just want to pass the message on quickly type something and it's gone, and it's blunt and to the point. Whereas, you know, some people like the flowery stuff, you know.
Now, that's right, I was just about to use the word flowery. NLP, though, I mean, we know you're an NLP practitioner, and you're going to tell us more about that, Sophie, shortly. But NLP in this article, in this particular subject, stands for Natural Language Processing. And the computer technology is simply picking up on the words used to gauge the level of emotion or mood, often collectively amongst people, and that's all it's doing. So, natural language processing, is it something you'd heard about?
No, I've got to say it wasn't. especially I find the natural bits with a computer trying to work out whether it's positive or negative a bit odd.
Yeah, I can't see that. I can't see that working. Computers, you know, they're very clever at doing lots of things, but emotions is one thing that a computer cannot pick up. I can't see how a computer can pick up emotions.
It's just going to become a database of certain words more than anything, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and that's not going to work, is it really?
Well, it says the accuracy rate of this is about 70%, this technology. However, even if when 100% were correct, humans would still disagree about 20% of the time. So I thought that was interesting. But,
it just makes you argue.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
I don't see that working at all.
That's right. But of course, you know, if you look at how much we were communicating through computers 10 years ago and how much we're doing it now, it's shocking, isn't it, how much it's moved on in just 10 years. I mean, a lot of people never write letters at all now, do they?
No, I mean, when I'm in a hurry, I will talk to my phone and just get it to, and if I don't check it, sometimes it tells different things. I once sent my son a message and I spoke to it and I asked him to go to a well-known store to pick up some milk on the way home. And I'd ask him to go, reading it, I'd send him to Singapore.
Oh, really?
So can you pop to Singapore and get some milk on your way home? You know, luckily he guessed the gist of it, but it's so easily done, isn't it? So.
Well, coming up, we'll be talking more local news, and if you have news that we should be talking about, then do contact us on email. On our email, that's talk@thatsolent.com, talk@thatsolent.com, or send us a tweet on Twitter account @thatsolent.tv. Back with you again very shortly.
With my poor credit, I felt toxic.
Finance companies were asking very high interest rates.
Couldn't afford it. My only option was an out-of-warranty used car for cash, or so I thought.
I called Wheels for Sure. A week later, I had a lease for a brand new car.
All manufacturer-backed and upgrade to a new one every 3 years.
I felt valued. Too good to be true? No, simply true.
Used car on a costly loan or an affordable new leased one, you know the choice.
For sure.
Click or call Wheels for Sure on 0800 044 5806 now. We can help.
The BT 50% knockout deal is now on. Get a thumping introductory offer of £5 a month on BT Broadband Plus. That's 50% off if you buy before the 22nd of December. With BT Broadband Plus, you'll enjoy a massive 50GB of BT Cloud storage and peace of mind with BT Net Protect Plus for your 12-month contract. You'll also be able to connect when you're out and about with the UK's largest network of Wi-Fi hotspots. And if you order online by the 7th of October, you'll get a £75 Sainsbury's gift card. Don't miss the BT 50% knockout deal. Switch to BT today. Call 0800 002 002 or visit bt.com/knockout.
Julia, Winston Wolf.
Yeah?
You were on your way to Marcia's hen party when you took a hit from a couple of wise guys.
Nightmare.
About your car. Does it smoke? Make a noise?
Yeah.
Call Direct Line. They'll arrange a hire car.
Won't have to wait for mine to go in for repair.
Not with Direct Line.
Oh,
Hey, what about us? Are you with Direct Line? No. Then on your bike, Buster.
A rare and beautiful tiger, trapped by vicious steel cables, slowly dying. WWF's anti-poaching patrol found her barely alive, with deep wounds from the tightening snare, killed for profit. Another victim of wildlife crime. There are as few as 3,200 tigers left in the wild. By adopting a tiger with WWF, you can help stop their painful and needless deaths. Adoption costs just £3 a month, and you'll be supporting our vital work to help protect tigers. We'll send you an exciting adoption pack showing you how essential your help is. There's even a cuddly toy tiger. If you know someone who cares about tigers, adoption makes a great gift. Please call 0800 038 0890, text PROTECT10 to 70099, or visit tigerprotect.com. Adopt a tiger for just £3 a month and help us stop wildlife crime. Thank you.
How Sif broke the curse of the streaks. The princess cleaned and cleaned, but horrid streaks cursed her bathroom until she summoned Sif, Power and Shine. Sif banished all the limescale and streaks. For 100% streak-free shine, there's always a beautiful ending with Sif, Power and Shine.
Well, you're watching Talk Solent with me, Jonathan Hines, and my guest this evening, Sophie Personne, a dating entrepreneur and NLP expert, and Neshla Avey, a renowned clairvoyant medium from near Ferrum. Now, most of us know what a minefield dating can be, so coming back to dating again now, I think we need to talk more about this. Many of you will have had mixed experiences with online dating, but what if there was somebody to help you succeed on dates and in the dating game and to avoid common mistakes, and help you find the right person for you? Sophie Personne is another local guest this evening from Portsmouth and is founder and owner of both Sophie Personne NLP and the dating agency which she created, Sophisticated Singles. I love that name. Sophie also has a local event coming up for singles. Sophie, over to you. Tell us a bit more about your career and about what you're up to.
My background is actually managerial, and that's how I realised that I quite liked helping people. And when I took redundancy, I wasn't too sure what I was going to do with my life, but I just wanted to do something different and that I enjoyed, and I somehow ended up where I am. So I started with doing events for single people because there wasn't anything, you know, around in the South Coast. I mean, there are things in London, but not down here. And as I was hosting these events, I could see why people were single, because normally there are reasons, and they fall into various categories. But I just felt there was more benefit in helping them achieve, you know, meeting the person that they want and need, but that's right for them, as opposed to floating about for years with expectations and certain like behaviours or emotional baggage that they haven't quite sorted properly. So I get more of a sense of achievement out of doing that than...
And the last thing you want is people going on dates nervous as well. Nervous and anxious, over-analysing.
Yeah, over-analysing, everybody does that. Unfortunately, as soon as feelings are involved, there's an element of analysing that happens. You know, you've got your emotions go that way and the logic goes out the window. There are various techniques to, you know, sort it, but...
And just to recap on this event you've got coming up, this Valentine's Day event, which is...
So it's Sunday, and it's at the Chocolate Lounge in Copner Road in Portsmouth.
Right.
And tickets really need to be purchased in advance because there's a lot of organisation that goes with it. In a nutshell, there'll be a presentation on chocolate with opportunity to taste the different stages of, you know, when it's really bitter, when it's a bean, things like that. Then you have a testing of fruit chocolates because Mick Collins, who owns the Chocolate Lounge, makes all the chocolates on site and they're all handmade.
Right.
So there'll be, you know, a tasting of chocolates, and then people will also get a complimentary bag to take away. They pick what they want, as well as champagne and soft drinks for the duration of the event. It's up to 1 bottle per person. We can't go too mad, but that's why people shouldn't just turn up. We need, you know, to know the numbers before it happens. What
percentage of people that come to you for NLP sessions come to you about relationships or about relationship problems, would you say? What percentage of your customers?
100%. Relationships.
That's your speciality.
Relationships, first of all, is relationship with yourself. A number of people, you know, we have a self-confidence issue or nervous breakdown, depression, various sort of things that have happened in their past that they have either not identified and come and smack them in the face one day. Then it's relationship with others, so family members, work colleagues, parents, and then being single or having issues in a marriage or with a partner. So yeah, relationships at the core of everything that you probably would know as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's my most common...
Is it?
Yeah.
70, 80% of people that come to you for readings
probably about
are relationship related?
Yeah, the rest are about career or moving house, going overseas, all these sort of things, but most of it is about relationships, whether, as you say, partnerships, or whether it's relationship, falling out with family, being estranged from children, that sort of thing. So yeah, definitely. Relationships are important.
It's the core of everything, really.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, it is very important. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people who have problems.
I did hear someone, it was a well-known divorce lawyer, who's frequently on national television. She said something which I thought was interesting. She said in the UK we're not very good at relationships. And I thought that was a very sweeping statement because relationships are a huge thing universally all over the world, aren't they?
I think it's the same everywhere. The word has changed, be it in England, in the States, in France. You know, we're all very different than we were 30 years ago, and I think it's because with the advent of like technology, where maybe 30 years ago you went to work to have a roof over your head and to eat. I mean, that's still the case for some people, but on the whole, now people want to achieve quality of life. And by quality of life, it's holidays, it's, you know, going out. And then I suppose our values are maybe changing, or we are in the process of a society change, because it's around you. Look at Facebook. A lot of people have what I call the Facebook ego. You've all got that one friend, and you read their stuff, and you're like, your life is great, isn't it? You just never have a problem. Everything just falls into place just for you. And then you start to associate with that, or not, as the case may be, and you look at yourself, and sometimes people then strive for more, but often it's in material sense. And then it's, you know, oh, my relationship is not perfect, so I want something like this. And you push in the wrong direction.
Well, let's face it, 9
Mm.
times out of 10 in a photograph, we smile. Now, smiling's a great thing, you know, if it's genuine. I mean, I do a lot of it, and it's good for you. But you know, why do we always have to smile in a photo? Why can't we have other facial expressions in photos? You know, have you noticed all these pictures of people smiling in bars and clubs, but they might be really upset at that time?
Yeah, and I think this is another issue, is putting on a front. But you do it also because you don't want to be a drag on people.
No, of course.
You know, really, if you are feeling that way, you shouldn't be going out and off, because, no, you're not going to put a picture on Facebook where you're really, like, sad and down and everything else. But at the same time, you know, if you're part of a group, yeah, it's difficult to put on that front.
And at the same time, you don't want people... It can be very frustrating, people who are extremely negative, who are always on Facebook moaning and whinging.
Delete.
And,
Yeah, exactly. That's
you don't
the
want people
thing.
that are just constantly happy, but you don't want people who are constantly feeling sorry for themselves either.
No.
Both extremes.
You see, the thing is, it depends whether they are just being negative for the sake of it, or someone I know just like tries to find something to wind herself up with, or be negative about, or worry about.
So, but what about this name, Sophisticated Singles? I like that. What was the, where did that come from?
It didn't come from me. Someone else found it and actually fitted because of my first name being Sophie, so it worked.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's good.
And also, you are going to be more successful. You're going to be more sophisticated, as you know, in dating, aren't you? If you're better prepared and if you understand yourself better,
yeah.
which is what you're helping people to do. So keep up the good work. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Now, more on language. Now, does it take native speakers of different languages different amounts of time to read exactly the same message or piece of information in their particular language? Now, there's a question. We all know that Chinese, Arabic and English, for example, look very different and are structured very differently, but researchers from universities in China, Finland and Southampton have found, via sophisticated eye-tracking equipment, that readers of Chinese, Finnish and English all take the same time to read and process the same message or exact same piece of information. Even though individual words may be longer or shorter in each of the languages, the overall time is the same. Now, all three of us are speakers of more than just English, and we've all got a second language, haven't we? So, what do we think about this article? Does it take you the same amount of time to read a message in Chinese as it does in English, Neshla?
I have never read a message in Chinese, but I just think, why does it matter? I don't understand why they bother doing these sort of things, really, because at the end of the day, it's, you know, you can have 3 English people reading the same piece of text, and it would take one longer to process than the other, so it depends on a lot of things, doesn't it?
And I'm sure if you ask these 3 people, they will all have retained different bits of information as well.
Yeah, exactly. And you see people, don't they, with books, some people speed read, don't they? And they just take the bits of information that they want. But I just don't understand why they're bothering, really. I don't think that's... I mean, everything's interesting, or what all these the facts they find out, but I don't think it matters.
They do go in very much depth.
I just think that's a really hard thing to prove, and again, it depends what sort of information you've put down, whether it's, you know, it might be, certain text might be quicker, but others might be longer.
Well, in this study they talked about some
It is a bit odd, isn't it?
They talked about alphabetic versus logographic languages, so that's alphabetic like English or French, and then Chinese, which would be classed as logographic because they have pictures. Spaced versus unspaced, and agglutinative versus non-agglutinative. Now that means languages that have words, one word made up of 2 or 3 different words becomes one word, whereas other languages which break what would be one word to ourselves into 2 or 3 parts. So that's what agglutinative and non-agglutinative is. But whether it's Chinese, Arabic or English, apparently the same bit of information takes native speakers the same amount of time to read and process.
So, there you go, we've learnt something new.
Yeah, I'm not convinced necessarily though, because if you gave me a piece of paper, depending obviously how involved it was, but in French, my spoken French is definitely not as good as it was. My written is appalling. But it would certainly take me longer, I'm sure, to totally understand a message in French than it would in English now.
That's really interesting, even though it's your native language.
Yes. If you don't speak it, it's like everything.
Yeah, you forget, don't you? It's like a muscle, isn't it? If you don't use that muscle regularly, you don't remember it. And as you say, it depends, you know, what your native tongue is, doesn't it?
And what's your second language, Neshla? Is your Cypriot origin?
Yeah, Turkish, but I'm not fluent. But again, I understand with the words because you start with a little word and you add a lot onto it to make it form something else. So you start with a 2-letter word and it could end up with 15 letters if it's into a sentence.
You're going to be doing another TV programme though in Cyprus soon, aren't you?
I am in May this year. Yeah.
That'll be in English.
Oh yes, yes. So I, as I say, I'm not fluent, so. No. We wouldn't go down very well. We wouldn't have much to say then.
Well, giving readings, giving psychic readings in Turkish.
No, that's really hard. I have tried it in the past and had a translator, and you just lose part of it. It's quite hard actually when you have a translator. You get the gist, but it doesn't translate, and you also don't know what the person's saying.
That as well, the nuances.
Yes, well that's all we've got time for this evening, unfortunately. Always never enough time, but my thanks to this evening's guests, Sophie and Neshla. Talk Solent returns tomorrow at the same time. Thanks for watching, all the best. Goodbye.
Julia, Winston Wolfe.
Yeah?
You were on your way to Marcia's hen party when you took a hit from a couple of wise guys.
Nightmare.
About your car. Does it smoke? Make a noise?
Yeah.
Call Direct Line. They'll arrange a hire car.
Won't have to wait for mine to go in for repair.
Not with Direct Line.
Hey,
what about us? Are you with Direct Line? No. Then on your bike, Buster.
With my poor credit, I felt toxic. Finance companies were asking very high interest rates.
Couldn't afford it. My only option was an out-of-warranty used car for cash, or so I thought.
I called Wheels for Sure. A week later, I had a lease for a brand new car.
All manufacturer-backed and upgrade to a new one every 3 years.
I felt valued. Too good to be true? No, simply true.
Used car on a costly loan or an affordable new leased one, you know the choice.
For sure.
Click or call Wheels for Sure on 0800 044 5806 now. We can help.
This roast says, where's the time gone?
It says, how did you get into uni?
I hope you settle in okay.
Please don't forget to call your mother.
It says, I'll miss you, love.
I'll miss you, lad.
Coleman's Original English Mustard helps your roast say it all.
How Sif broke the curse of the streak. The princess cleaned and cleaned, but horrid streaks cursed her bathroom until she summoned Sif, power and shine. Sif banished all the lime scale and streaks. For 100% streak-free shine, there's always a beautiful ending with Sif, power and shine.
I believe that the very best stock is made from quality ingredients. That's why I use North stock pots, slowly simmered to perfection. They help give a rich and meaty taste that makes my best spaghetti bolognese. Simply stir in and really taste the difference. Some say you can't buy taste, but I disagree. North stock pots. Try it for yourself.